Last year, I did a written blog post about Dick Grayson and how he's my #1 favorite in the Bat family. Today, I'm going to be talking about the person who ranks #2 in the Batman universe for me, though she's frequently on the side of the rogues gallery rather than on the side of good.
Harley Quinn, pleased to meet ya.
Harley originated in Batman the Animated Series before eventually being added to the comics continuity, and now playing a fairly large role in the Arkham series of video games. For this video, I'm going to focus on her animated self. Harley was first voiced by Arlene Sorkin, and I remember feeling really divided on that when I first found out. At that point, I mostly knew her as Dave Coulier's really annoying co-host on America's Funniest People. But fortunately, Arlene's over-the-top voice really suits itself to this role, and it should, as Paul Dini used her as inspiration for the character. Harley was originally shown with very little introduction, only appearing as a female sidekick for the Joker. It wasn't until the episode Harley and Ivy that we really got to know her. Harley skirts a very thin line, because she can be a very confident woman at times, but she's also got that very huge crutch. We see she's perfectly capable of breaking into the museum and stealing a huge diamond, yet she still can't help but want to bring it straight to the Joker as she's stealing it. She saves Ivy's butt after Ivy goofs up and sets off the alarms, yet Ivy ends up becoming the default leader of the pair, giving Harley lessons in pride and self-esteem. I think this episode deserves the most praise for giving a feminist message while only putting down the men who truly deserve it. Jerks like the Joker, the caterwaulers in the car, and the sexist men's club. These days, Harley and Ivy's relationship is often regarded as more than just a friendship, so I made a point while watching the episode to see if there were any obvious lesbian overtones. They can't be too obvious given that this is a children's show, but I think you can definitely see the signs there if you want to. Or you can decide they're just good friends. Regardless, there's no denying that Harley's loyalties will always side with the Joker. The next Harley-centric episode is Harlequinade, and I should tell you right now that I love this episode. I taped it and watched it repeatedly after it first aired. Nearly everything Harley says is quotable, and it's so great to see her working with Batman and Robin.
Did you see the way I handled those creeps? Pow! Bam! Ooh, Batgirl, eat your heart out.
What was she before she went bonkers?
A clinical psychiatrist.
Figures.
The way she seems to truly enjoy being a hero is just too fun to watch. And the song, hilarious and expertly executed. One fun thing to notice on repeated viewings is that in the very first scene with the mayor, you can actually tell it's Joker's hand holding the phone. That purple sleeve should really be a tip-off immediately, but because you're not looking for it the first time, you don't see it. There's only one thing that bugs me.
Freeze, clown!
Quinn! Stop!
He's mine, Bats!
Why isn't Batman trying to stop her? It ends up being alright because she has the joke gun, but he didn't know that, so why would he just sit back and do nothing? Watching Harley's Holiday back-to-back with Harlequinade really shows the difference in animation and character design from Season 1 to Season 2 of the show. Regardless, this is a really fun episode. Not quite as great as Harlequinade, but it still paints Harley in a more sympathetic light. There's no real mention of the Joker at all, showing that she seems to have dropped that crutch completely, even if she's still not quite normal. The premise escalates in ridiculousness as the episode goes on, giving it a much more cartoony feel. But hey, where else are you going to see Robin take down a bunch of thugs using dead fish as if they were nunchucks? The ending scenes with the billboards are a lot of fun and remind me very much of old Looney Tunes. The very end is also adorable.
I had a bad day too, once.
Nice guys like you shouldn't have bad days.
The only annoying part is knowing that this episode was largely ignored in the future, where Harley is fighting right back alongside the Joker or Ivy with no intention of reforming. I don't really see the point of going through so much effort to have a character grow and change, and then just completely ignore it. I guess when they went to make the new Batman adventures, they didn't know what else to do except pretend it never happened. I barely count Girls' Night Out as a Harley-centric episode, but I bring it up mostly because I absolutely hate it. This is apparently what happens when Paul Dini lets someone else handle his baby. They take horrible care of her. She's used as the butt of jokes repeatedly and does nothing but make stupid decisions. Contrast this to the way she got that jewel in Harley and Ivy. It's just one of the many examples why I really don't like this version of the series. The new Batman Adventures is also where we saw the adaptation of the Mad Love graphic novel. This was a standalone graphic novel for the Batman Adventures comic that explained her origin. It is a stunningly accurate adaptation with only a few minor frames missing. Though I have to say that I really love these daydreams Harley has in the comics. Note Buster and Babs' bunny and what's no doubt a reference to Barney in the background of this picture. What's pretty amazing is that we see Joker, Harley, and Batman all get bloody lips, and Harley herself is pretty horribly beat up. There's also that one scene with Harley in that nightie, and it all adds up to a downright edgy episode for a children's show. By my count, Harley appeared in 10 other episodes in the series. Her roles are usually fairly marginal, which is why I'm not covering them. I'm clearly not the only one who fell in love with Harley back then, as she's got quite a huge fan base. Comic conventions are always full of girls cosplaying as her, usually right beside a Joker or Poison Ivy. Dini himself even gets in on the fun occasionally. So I'm probably preaching to the choir in terms of talking about how awesome she is, but I still couldn't resist singing her praises. Got a favorite Harley moment or line? Share it with me in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.